All right, Shalawam. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone, and much love and prayers to you brothers that's doing the work, that's doing the will of the Lord in sincerity and truth. And this is an article I seen about a couple days ago, and it came out by Dabu7. Sometimes he give out some good news sometimes, and it was published June 3rd. Today will actually be the 6th until 12. I think it's like 10 something. Yeah. So today is the 6th. And basically this video is showing you how the Lord's angels, the Lord's chariots is always in the midst of something. All right. They always doing the will of the Lord. So you will find that the Lord's chariots is always out there, whether whether it's a great snowstorm, a sandstorm, a great flood. The Lord's angels is always out there in the midst, whether it's a battle, whether it's a war. They out there because they please the wrath of him that made them. All right. And they do the will of the Lord. And plus they out there. And I thought, in this particular, moment right here, being in this battle, this Ukraine battlefield, is that they working on the minds of the people. All right. Because everything that's being done here upon the earth is prophecies being fulfilled. So the Lord has the angels to be in the minds, all right, to do his will, to play out his movie, all right. And every little thing sets up the next prophecy. So let's get into the video and have a look at it.
All right, guys, Dabu7, the last time that we saw a so-called UFO over the Ukraine, it was the large cigar-shaped, if you will, craft. What we have now is multiple small orbs showing up over the battlefield. You see that? These are UFOs, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a lot of people freak out and they're like, aliens, humans. I can't tell you what's piloting these crafts. That's besides the point. The fact of the matter is that they are there, and that to the naked eye, no one was going to catch this. This was going to be an update to the situation in the Ukraine, showing that the separatists or the citizens were gaining the upper hand, and there's a large explosion that takes place in the middle of this town. Well, right where this explosion takes place, maybe 30 seconds before it happens, all of these orbs come shooting out of this region.
Right. Now, mind you, he said probably about 30 seconds before the explosion went off, all the chariots started dispersing, all right, through everywhere, all right, showing you that they working on the mines, and or whoever died there, it was because of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, all right. And the same why that explosion went off, because the angels work on the minds of the men, man, if the Lord have them do that, because they are the eyes of the Lord as well, man, and they please the wrath of him that made him, all right, that made them.
You will see one come across here and go over the back of the building. You'll see another one flutter right here real small, and you'll see the obvious one come shooting clear across the screen. Now, I'm going to leave a link so you guys can play this for yourselves and rewind it and freeze it, zoom in, do all that good stuff. But I'm telling you, we have, without a doubt, see them? See that? UFO orbs on the battlefield. See this? They're not flares, they're not bullets, they're not birds. They are zipping in different directions, like changing quickly. Do you see this? This is real deal UFOs, guys. I don't know who's controlling them, who's watching the battlefield, but somebody is literally watching it with an all-seeing eye.
Right. And who is that? That's Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And for us brothers, the ones that's enlightened, that's out there knowing this truth and knowing the Bible, knowing about the so-called UFOs, we call them IFOs, identifying flying objects. All right, because we identify them. We know that those are the chariots of the Most High. All right, and I just want to get in a quick scripture real quick. This is let's go into here. This is the Apocrypha, chapter 37, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance. In their fury, they lay on sore strokes. Right, because the angels, you know, you have righteous angels and you have evil angels. And the Lord controls both sides, all right? And whatever which one that he chosen to do his agenda, his agenda that he has, or according to his will that he has, they do what? Which which in their fury they lay on sore strokes. All right. And it says, in a time of destruction, they pour out their force to bring to a state of peace, quiet, ease, calm, or contentment, pacify, soothe, to appease an angry king, which is really, you know, the Most High, to appease the Most High, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right, so the angels comfort the Most High by doing His will, because they gets the job done, and that's why you always see the angels. You always see those chariots always around when it's a disaster, whenever it's a great multitude of people dying. All right, so it says, and to please the wrath of Him that made them, fire and hell and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. All right. So jumping back, let's get back to it.
With these craft, these orbs. See the one right here? It just dipped over the back of the building. Here comes the other one into the frame. You can see this one moving across. I mean, look at that.
And you know, to add, he said the scriptures say, let's go back. It says which they lay on, which in their fury they lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force. All right. And going back to the video, what happened? He said 30 seconds before the explosion, the angels bursted in every direction, showing you what they pour out their force, and they please the wrath of Him that made them. All right.
And they are lightning fast. Looky there, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. I've got to say, this is one of the best that I found yet. Right here. Check it out, guys, while it's still out there. You heard it here first. Dabu 7 UFO orbs caught here on the battlefield in the Ukraine.
Right. And I got another video to show you guys. Is that like what? You know what I'm saying? Whenever there's a snowstorm, a great snowstorm, a flood, a great sandstorm, the angels are right there, the chariots. All right, the chariots are always in the midst of something. All right, they always in the midst of it, showing you they can control it, because that's the Heavenly Father, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And as you can see, this one is called 4 UFOs appear over Phoenix sandstorm. All right, and this is the sandstorm. Look how big it is. All right, but you see what? The angels there. And I had a testimony to where me and a brother back last year when Hurricane Sandy came. You know, it was full of wind, water, a lot of water and rain. I mean, a lot of flooding and a lot of rain at that time when it came. And me and a brother in the camp, he was at his house, I was at my house, and we was on the porch. You know what I mean? And how dark and how crazy it was looking outside. We was on the phone, and we was looking up in the sky and seeing the neon colors, showing we knew that those was the chariots. Those was the angels of the Most High out there in those chariots. And they had neon colors flickering. You know what I mean? So showing you that the Lord always has His chariots in the midst of to basically do his will upon this earth. All right. All right, now let me grab this other scripture. This is Zechariah 5:1. All right, this is Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll, which was a chariot. The chariot looked like a flying roll, similar going back into this, how you show you, don't that look like a roll from here? Like a roll of a sandwich, you know what I'm saying? Like a sub roll, all right? They can take many shapes, but let's get back. It says, then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. So Zechariah saw a chariot, and he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll, and the length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. So showing you this particular chariot that Zechariah saw was 20 cubits, and the breadth was 10 cubits, showing you the size of it, all right, and how big it was, all right, and it looked like what? A flying roll. Because you got to understand, back in the ancient world, they didn't see planes and helicopters, so the best thing to describe it to him was it looked like a roll. All right. So, okay, let's get to verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. So he said, this is the curse. So these chariots are a curse upon this earth, because we living in Satan's kingdom. We living in a so-called white man kingdom, and these chariots are a curse to him. All right. And it's a curse to the 2/3. All right, because they're going to look at it like as the so-called white man look at it. They're thinking some, you know, big green-headed, big-eye aliens, green monsters inside of them. But the elect knows that those are our vehicles and our salvation. All right, so it says, then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. All right, so it's a curse to the white man. And even when the white man sees these things, what happened? He gets scared because he can't understand it. All right, and there too, also too, they in Area 51, they do not have any chariots down there, man. Area 51, Lord willing, I could probably do a topic on that, but Area 51 is just a place of a high place to do rituals at and sacrifices. They don't have actual chariots of the angels of the Most High, so-called UFOs there, man. They can't grab a spirit like that. That's one thing that man cannot do. Man can kill the body, like the scriptures say, but fear him that can kill the body and the soul, man. All right, because these devils can't kill your spirit. All right, so it says, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it. Who stealeth? The so-called white man. Haven't he stolen America from the so-called native Indians? Haven't he stolen every resource or identity of us Israelites, of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians? All right. It says, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. And this white man steal land and name the lands after his own name, like if he created the land. All right. Verse 4. I will bring it forth, say the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Didn't Job 9:24 said the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked? Isn't the head, who is the wicked? The so-called white man. He is the thief. All right. Going back into Esau, he had he was given to live by the sword. All right. To actually take by force his birthright. Well, it's like it, not his birthright, but it's his inheritance, which is he didn't own. He's a thief. He's a stealer. All right. It says, and unto the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And this devil blasphemy the Most High all the time, man, saying God bless America. All right. That's just one. It says, and it shall remain in the midst of his house. And these chariots always in the midst of this earth, man. And the so-called white man inhabit the whole earth. His main thing is now is to New World Order is to chip everyone in the earth. All right. And it says it shall remain in the midst of his house. And the chariots, which is the curse, going back, what is that? The curse unto him shall remain in his house. All right. And it says, Salakia, it says, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. Because also, not only thermonuclear fire is going to come upon America and all these other countries out there, you know, not every last one, but some of them, and definitely Israel, all right. The Chariots is going to take part in destroying this place. They're going to take shooting lasers to help destroy this place and make America a lake of fire. All right. So let's get next scripture. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 4. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as in a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations, which is what? All these other nations that's going to be gathered together. All right. Gathered together, the Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle, showing you Yahawashi, who y'all ignorant call Jesus Christ. He is going to be the referee. All right. He's going to draw all these countries together, and they're going to fight against him. All right. It says they come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Right. Even though it's talking about the missiles, thermonuclear missiles, but also what? The chariots too. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord. Because the Lord is coming. When those chariots come, you're going to see the Lord coming. And the weapons of his indignation, which is those thermonuclear missiles that these countries have developed. And I want to tie it in, you know, also with, you know, America wants to do something new and actually strike first and shoot a nuclear missile upon Russia. So it says, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land, which is America, man. So, but tapping in what I was saying, let's get it right here. It says, U.S. plans first strike on Russia. All right. And this is going to start the Third World War. And just to add in it before I play the video is that America believes that their defense system is so tight and so perfected that they are able to shoot a strike on Russia, and Russia, you know, Russia is going to reply back by shooting a strike, but they believe that their defense system is going to blow their missiles out of the air. All right. And any other country, as far as China, as far as Iran, and any other enemy to America. All right. But let's get into this video right here.
US revives plans for a nuclear first strike on Russia coming up.
Soft assassinations of anti-NATO leaders. Star Wars, tested for Eastern Europe. And U.S. space weapons, a quote.
And just another add-on is because the reason why I'm adding this into this topic with the chariots is because showing you, I want to show you how, Lord, through the power of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, that the chariots are, they are controlled by the Most High. But this devil think that his defense system is so perfect that he's going to be able to stop, the strikes from Russia from their replying back to U.S. striking them. But showing you the angels can also, make those missiles continue to come and block his defense system. But let's get into it.
Unofficial declaration of war.
Secret clauses of NATO membership state the US can and will depose Europe's governments on the orders of the White House.
Even if the electorate were to show a different inclination, secret protocols guarantee alignment by any means.
By any means exactly that. Early NATO whistleblower Hans Otto exposed, quote, kill lists of leading European politicians that defied investigators' beliefs, but were subsequently confirmed by police. Officers found 15 pages of members of the German Communist Party to be assassinated and 80 pages on Germany's Social Democrats, one of the two major parties in the country. The documents state these assassinations would take place in case of X. X may refer, writes NATO scholar Dr. Daniel Ganser, to mass protests against a US-backed government or an election victory of a genuinely left-wing party. Instructions for such operations were kept at NATO military headquarters south of Brussels. Der Spiegel reveals a, quote, strictly secured wing of the building. A grey steel bank vault door prohibits trespassing to the unauthorized. Papers on NATO operations in Europe are marked American eyes only. When the EU Parliament officially demanded NATO stop these operations, which have become known by the codename Gladio, the US simply ignored it. Richard Cottrell is a former member of the European Parliament. NATO tried to ban his investigation, Gladio, NATO's dagger at the heart of Europe, which reports both so-called soft assassinations, smearing non-aligned EU politicians through mainstream media to make them unelectable, and real assassinations of politicians that still got elected. Richard joins us. Really great to see you. What's going on?
The United States is not prepared to tolerate governments which are unfavorable to the regime. Let's give the example of Syriza in Greece at the moment, which is just one, come top of the list in the European elections. This is an example of a government which is not going to be tolerated by the United States of America.
Yeah, you write a prototype soft assassinations British Prime Minister Harold Wilson, whose, quote, blasphemy in American eyes was to flirt with nuclear disarmament.
Yes, it's become a little bit more difficult to, shall we say, use violent means than it was in the past. So now you're going to see a lot more of the Harold Wilson tactics. And they will now increase. And I'll tell you why. Because this weekend, the European elections were held. And this has resulted in a very large bloc of anti-Europeans, led by the Le Penista, the National Front of France, which has come out on top in the European elections. Nigel Farage, leader of the United Kingdom Independence Party in the UK, who has come from virtually nowhere to become the leader of the third largest party. This will not be allowed to happen. So there have to be Harold Wilson-type moves now to remove those leaderships and those parties in those various countries.
NATO is attempting to supersede and actually replace the United Nations, reveals former Assistant General Hans Sponek. Its revised doctrine refuses the UN monopoly on the use of force, reports Global Research News. NATO now promotes itself as the military wing of the UN itself. The doctrine reserves the right to intervene anywhere in the world where there's, quote, movements of large numbers of persons. Its newly formed Partners Across the Globe programs already incorporated Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Pakistan and Iraq, and leads the occupation of Afghanistan. With the expected addition of states like Colombia and El Salvador, NATO will be on all 6 inhabited continents. Obama's foreign policy guru Zbigniew Brzezinski calls people in countries under US control vassals, a medieval term for slaves. American armed forces are now in over 150 countries. The unofficial figure, including clandestine US forces, is thought to be much higher.
And you see this? You see how they basically damn near ruling the whole earth, man. They everywhere, man.
The Pentagon recently formed the United States Africa Command. Since then, NATO's dispatched the continent's most developed nation to a Hobbesian anarchy, overthrew the Ivory Coast, and chopped Sudan's oil-rich southern half into a new state, leaving just 2.5 countries still outside its military grid. Leading military analyst, editor of the news list Stop NATO, Rick Rozoff, joins us. Great to see you. What will happen to people when the last countries fall to U.S. control?
Global enslavement is the answer to that. And we see it manifested, for example, in ways that may not be immediately obvious, but, after a certain amount of analysis we can see. For example, votes that have come up in the United Nations General.
And also, just to add, to show you that NATO is the beast, man. NATO is the beast that Revelation talks about. Right?
In the last year and a half, 2 years. Particularly, I'm thinking on the question of Syria. We see that the U.S., through a number of factors, economic bribery, diplomatic blackmail, subversion, but also through bilateral and multilateral military programs, has been able to secure the overwhelming, compliance or servility of other nations. And that's one of the reasons why there's no diplomatic and political independence in nations, because they're beholden to the United States. And frankly speaking, they're fearful of U.S. economic and ultimately military retaliation should they not go along with U.S. diktat.
So today, I state clearly and with conviction America's commitment to seek the peace and security of a world without nuclear weapons. I'm not naive.
Obama's.
And just to add, that part right there that he said played in the part of G.I. Joe. And if brothers, you can check out my movie videos. I believe I named it New World Order. I forgot exactly, but basically it's the G.I. Joe movie that I have, that I posted up. And then he's playing a part of that Edomite sitting at the round table with all the other nations. And, if you watch it, you'll understand and you get the gist of what he just said right there.
Duplicity is perhaps historically unparalleled. As soon as he envisioned a planet without nuclear weapons, he mushroomed nuclear weapons spending to levels above the height of the Cold War. He's expanded the infamous Bush doctrine of a nuclear strike against any country, regardless of international law. Full spectrum dominance is the official term used by his administration, meaning, quote, control everything everywhere on sea, land, air, space, and outer space. US Space Command documents plan to even deny other nations the use of space.
You see this? How the hell this devil gonna tell the other nations they can't have the use of space up there? Showing you this is the devil that the scriptures say, man. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and the wicked is the so-called white man.
One remaining power with the capacity to stop what the Pentagon calls full spectrum dominance, writes intelligence analyst William Engdahl, is Russia. By design or coincidence, crisis in Ukraine's provided the perfect excuse for US military control of the region. 10 days ago, the administration tested its Star Wars system for Eastern Europe, which will now be rolled out starting in Romania. Obama brands his system the stronger, smarter, and swifter version of Ronald Reagan's initial Star Wars program. Under the plan, the US attacks Russia with nuclear weapons, while NATO missile defense in Eastern Europe mops up any attempted response.
Now, this was my point right here. I let it play out, tried to, so brothers could see the video or whatever. But this is my point while the chariots come into effect. This is when the Lord, all right? Because he thinks that he's going to strike Russia first, and his defense system is going to destroy every missile that Russia shoots at America. This is when the angels step into play, showing you, back into the video, the angels right here in the midst of the battle. The angels are always in the midst of war, battle, or anything. And also the scriptures say, let me get the scripture. Matter of fact, let's get it now. It's lock here. Because, these these missiles that he shot off, those are not the so-called white man's missiles, man. He think they're his, and all these other nations think those missiles is his, but they're not. All right. This is Salakia. Let's see. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. So the Lord created the smith, the one, that scientist that actually was smart enough to deal with atoms and to deal with the elements to create a nuclear missile. So it says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, which is what? The thermonuclear missiles, man. It says, and I have created the waster to destroy, which is the nuclear missiles. These are the Lord's missiles, man. So this devil go ahead and shoot off on Russia. We gonna praise Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man, because that's ball game. Because those angels gonna be coming. Because in the midst of that, those missiles being shot off, and Russia shooting missiles back at America, those chariots going to be right there to save the elect, man. So I hope these devils go ahead and shoot missiles off, because having faith in the Lord, man, we in these latter days, they shoot those missiles off, and they plan on depopulating, the earth, depopulating America. That's when the Lord is going to have those chariots there, man, to appease him, so let me get it. I don't want to quote it wrong. It says, and appease the wrath of him that made them, all right? So please the Most High. So let's get back to the video.
NSNBC News writes, it's most likely and understandable Russia interprets NATO's Star Wars deployment on its borders as an unofficial declaration of war. Aerospace analysts told Global Research that U.S. Space Command is planning a nuclear-first strike on Russia as well as one on China in 2016. Aerospace analysts told Global Research that U.S. Space Command is planning a nuclear-first strike on Russia as well as one on China in 2016. Bruce Gagnon of...
And you see how they put a time on it in 2016? How the fuck you going, like, this shit kills me, man. It's a big ass game. I pray that the Lord make it quicker, man. And also too, because the NBC, they keep talking about that the RFID chip, everyone shall be, that probably make perfect sense, man, because you got ABC, they keep pushing that by 2017 that everyone in America, everyone in the world gonna be chipped with an RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast that Revelations talk about. All right. So maybe, hopefully it ain't that long, but how he just said it, if you think about it, this can be the event to make, people shoot off an attack at Russia. They declare a nationwide emergency, martial law, and they chipping everybody before this place actually get nuked by all the other countries.
Last month, NBC predicted that by 2017, every American will own a RFID implant. Now, they saying they predicting, that by 2017, every American will have a RFID implant in their arm.
The mark of the beast. So many people talk about this being biblical, prophetic, and many people realize that it will probably come in the form of an RFID chip. Now, NBC has recently made a statement that has a lot of people wondering, has this been planned already and just not come to fruition? That seems to be the case, because as NBC states here, by 2017, all Americans will be tagged with microchips. I want to pause for a second, and I want to state that it will take an event between now and 2017 to implement this, because people are not just going to willingly take these chips. So something's going to happen between now and 2017, and NBC has just kind of gave a hint to it. Now, it is the mainstream media. You can't trust hardly a word they say, but where are they getting their information is what you need to look into. A lot of people, when they see these documents, these bills, they don't even touch them. They don't read them. It's a bunch of mumbo jumbo, and it takes somebody to come through and take the time to read it and find these things to expose it. What we have here is 100% proof, ladies and gentlemen. You can share this with your friends, your family, around the world. They're going to start here in America. Israel is already attempting to create a cashless society. So somewhere along the lines, an RFID chip can simply be reprogrammed and be picked up by a higher satellite unit that can track it worldwide. As you can see right in front of your face, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has right here in front of you listed the guidance for industry and FDA staff, a Class 2 Special Controls Guidance document, which refers to an implantable radio frequency transponder system for patient identification and health information. Do you see how long ago they put this out? December 10th, 2004. This has been one of the very subtle things that they have been trying to implement. And what it's going to take now is an event. Because why are they saying 2017? Because as you've just seen here, this has been in the works for a long time. Some people still are not going to believe that this is true. So I ask you, come over to page 1014. Take the time. See it for yourself. I will leave links as always. We'll scroll down here and we'll find 1014. And I want to show you what it states in this bill. And this is what they've already passed, guys. This is what they've already passed underneath of our noses while no one's paying attention. They have passed the mark of the beast legally. All they have to do is get it in you. And it's going to have to take an event, in my opinion, to do so. Okay, we see right here the National Medical Device Registry. The Secretary shall establish a National Medical Device Registry to facilitate analysis of post-market safety and outcomes data on each device that is used on a patient as a Class 3 or a Class 2 device that is implantable, life-supporting, or life-sustaining. Do you see what they've done? And guess exactly what it's connected to. Not only your wealth and all of your information, but it's connected straight to the Food and Drug Administration, meaning that all of your food, all of your money, anything that you're going to get is going to be tracked through this. Also, the administration of the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services. Do you see? This has been hidden in this healthcare, Obamacare bill this whole time. And they have passed all of these smaller bills along the way while no one has been paying attention. Why? Because they've been buried in the middle of these bills. So let's go down and look at 1501 to 1510. This is H.R. 3962. And when you guys come here, it's going to reset every time you leave the page. Just a heads up. So let's get down here to 1510. And what it says is the exact same thing that it was stating before. A unique device identification system. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, acting through the Commissioner of Food and Drugs, shall issue proposed regulations to implement Section 519F of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, no later than 6 months after the date of enactment. Now, it is saying, when you read on here, that a unique device identifier for each covered device referred to in paragraph 1. Do you see? these unique device identifiers, and this goes on and on here, guys. This will take days to read, but that's the thing. That's why they do it this way. This is an urgent warning for everyone out there. Everyone out there that believes that this mark and this tracking system is coming, whether you believe it's biblical or not. It's in my belief, whether you believe in religion or not, it should not stop you from believing the fact that this government wants to tag you and track you. And it's the truth.
And see, right there, now, that shows you how, you know, Nate sold out, Zabak and them sold out, because they don't push the chip. All right? So even Dabu, he's not in the truth. But he just said, like, how even if you don't even believe, you know, but you should recognize that the RFID chip is very real and what the government planned to do to everybody. So you dumbass false prophets like Nathaniel 7, Nate Satan, Nate the Snake, and you got Zabak, Mahar Rakar, the two adulterers of the two biggest adulterers in Israel. They don't even believe in the chip. They make mockery of the chip. They make mockery of the brothers that's teaching about the mark of the beast. All right? That's why we tell you other, you know, you brothers out there, stop listening to them. Don't even watch them dumbass niggas, man. Until you get grounded enough so you won't be persuaded unto foolishness, man. You won't be persuaded unto the doctrines of Satan, man. All right? Fucking niggas.
It's real. And it's right here in front of you. This is all the evidence you will ever need to know that it's already implemented. All we are waiting for is an event. Do you hear me? All we are waiting for is an event. It's it. At this point. I'll leave links in the description box. But heads up, guys.
And basically, you know, Dabu probably watches, you know, the Elders of GMS, man. Because the Elders been GMS been pushing this for a long time. And now you got, you know, people out here that's just constantly into the news, like this guy, Dabu. And then you got other people out there, Edomites, Israelites, that's out there faithfully putting up news and being watchmen, man. Like, it's crazy because the Lord will use, you know, someone that's not even into the knowledge or probably believes secretly, you know what I'm saying, watching the elders' videos and, you know, and putting news out there. But then you got false prophets out there that's teaching a bunch of bullshit, man. Teaching you to be American Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Teaching you straight the ways of America, man. Teaching you to get rich. Teaching you to enjoy yourself in the captivity you living in. Talking about everybody, brothers and sisters, and everybody could be saved. The Lord is only dealing with the elect, man. You're only dealing with the elect. All right?
The Global Network Against Weapons in Space joins us. Thank you very much for coming on. What do we know about the first strike plans?
This is in the planning process today. The U.S. Space Command practicing engaging in a first strike attack. And this is the key element here, is that these are first strike attack planning. These so-called missile defense systems are key elements in U.S. first strike attack planning.
I'm sorry, but because why I said what I said, because how he said it, you know what I'm saying, basically because they're gonna need an event to push that RFID, to force that RFID chip on, you know, on America, on the people of the world, man. They're gonna need an event. They're gonna need a crisis, an event, and this could be probably it if we here in this queendom, man, until the 2016, because 2017 they saying that everyone should be chipped. All right, but going back to again that they know they have a short time to rule as well.
The idea is to hit China or Russia first with a first strike, and then when they try to fire their nuclear retaliatory capability, it is then that these so-called missile defense systems would be used to pick off any retaliatory strike. So after a first strike sword is thrust into the heart of China or Russia, then the missile defense shield would be used to pick off any retaliation, giving the U.S. a quote-unquote successful first strike attacks. It has nothing at all to do with defense. It has nothing to do with freedom or democracy or any of those words that are used all the time to disguise the true intentions. It's all about full spectrum dominance.
Several decades ago, the first Star Wars initiative faced intense public and industry debate. Today, the US is controlled by just 6 mainstream media, all totally suborned to the White House. The result is an Orwellian silence on perhaps the most dangerous issue today. Europeans may decide they want their leaders chosen by NATO, or even that they support nuclear strikes on China and Russia. Since the US-controlled mainstreams never even informed the public these apocalyptic plans are on the agenda, the first people may hear of it would be this. Seek truth from facts. This is The Truth Seeker.
All right. Let me get 2 more scriptures. This is Jeremiah chapter 50. Verse 9, it says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, which is America, an assembly of great nations from the north country," which is what? Russia, man. All right. It says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her," which is all those countries, man. China and all that, man. It says, "From thence she shall be taken." All right. "Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain." So showing you that when these thermonuclear missiles be shot off, because America want to throw the first punch for the first time, like they haven't been doing it all the time, but since they call themselves shooting a nuclear strike on the other nations and really trying to say they believe in their defense system, the Lord is going to let all those nukes that's going to be shot off here at America to hit America, man. All right. Let me jump to 29. Jump down. All right. This is lock it. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 29. "Call together the archers against Babylon, against America. It says, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense," mean payback, "her according to her work." What have this America done to all these other nations? They have given them hell, man. Whenever America conquer another nation, they never leave, man. All right. They always set up their democracy and their Christianity, man. All right. And it says, recompense her according to her work. Because all America, all these Edomites have done was rape, robbery, and murder, man. Wickedness, evilness, man. According to all that she have done, do unto her. For she have been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. And you damn right, this so-called white man been proud against the Most High, man. Against the Maker, man. All right? And one more little thing is to add to the shit is that what? This is, what was this? June 5th, because right now today is June 6th. But also to add into that, the Truth Seeker video, you know, showing you when they got into about NATO, what they have done now to make Russia the enemy. They have, what? Russia kicked out of G8 summit. So Russia was kicked out of NATO, all right? And here's a video. I'm going to play a little bit just for the lack of time, all right?
The message couldn't be clearer from Barack Obama and the West. The American president's meeting with Petro Poroshenko was not just a show of support for Ukraine's president-elect, it was also a warning.
It's important for the international community to stand solidly behind the efforts of Petro to broker with the Russians a process whereby Russia no longer is financing or supporting or arming separatists on Ukraine's sovereign territory.
It's a message being echoed in Brussels too, where Japan's Shinzo Abe was the first to arrive for a meeting between G7 nations. There were supposed to be 8. Russia was left out in retaliation for seizing Crimea. It's the first time in 17 years that Russia's been excluded from talks on this level. Sarah Hewen from Standard Chartered thinks it will have an impact.
It sends a clear message to Putin, and I think that
Right, that's it, man. Yeah, a little bit of that, but with that, I hope I was edifying, and I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and much love and prayers to you brothers that's doing the will of the Lord in sincerity and truth. With that, Shalawam.